It's by law we are required to file returns every month before date 9 of the following month. Like for this month, the deadline will be 9, of which if you miss, you'll get a penalty of 10,000 shillings from KRA. So it is very important to file the statutory deduction, PAYE being one of it. Now that has been said, in my previous videos, I've said it is good to have a folder that you name it statutory deduction. So to start our course, the first thing we need is to have a P10 form. A P10 form. So there are two ways you can acquire. There is one way that you can acquire a P10 form, and that way is by going to Google and type KRA iTax, search the KRA iTax. This is the first item in the search. Just click on that. So you'll see that you have the KRA. So you'll put your pin here and press continue, and then you'll do this arithmetic that has been provided. That is 13 minus that is 31 minus 13. And in this case, this arithmetic changes with time. You can change it to an easier one so that you can have it easy, but I can do it. This one is 18. 13 minus 31 minus 13 is 18. So once you give the security stamp, you can now log in. Okay, see, I've logged in and they have told me welcome Pay Church. Now I want to show you where to download the P10 form. That is for those who don't have the P10 form in their laptops. So you'll come to returns and click on file returns, and then here you'll select PAYE, okay, and click next. In this window, you'll now be able to see, click here, you can see all this, click to download the return form. So you click and download the first one, download the Unified Payroll and NSSF return form for Office or Excel 203, 207 and 2010 and above. That is for the versions that are above. So there is also another one that is compatible with MS 207, this Office and 2010. So I'll prefer that because our transaction is not as huge, we'll use this first one because we have like 3 to 5 workers for us. So we'll click and use this one. So once you click it, you'll find that it will download the P10 form. Okay, once you click it, it will download. As you can see, mine is downloading. Good. So we have just finished the process of downloading the form. Now let's come to the form. That form, it is good you put it under a folder named statutory deduction. And in the statutory deduction, if I open my folder, you find that I have NHIF, I have NSSF, and I have PAYE. This is just a good practice to get yourself organized. So we'll come and open a P10 form because this is the form that we will be able to use. This is the form that we shall be using. So in the P10 form, I'll come and click the P10 form and open it. Okay. So it will tell you, please do not cut or paste any values in the form. The form has been opened. Once you open the P10 form, you'll be able to see the employer identification. Here you'll put the PIN of the church, and here you'll put the date. That is from, like, I'm filing these returns. I'm filing the returns for March. So I'll pick the first date of March and the end date of March, which is 31st, and then I'll click next. Here you'll input the PIN of the employee. For my PIN is this, and then there is this PIN, and then there is this PIN for another staff. Once you do that, you select president you select resident, select resident, and then these are also primary employees. And then here you put your basic salary. I've just used these values for demonstration. So you put here your basic salary, okay? So once you put here your basic salary like this, you have the in here you have to ensure housing allowance, you put it 00 because we are not given the housing allowance. And remember, I'm doing this thing for employees of the church. We are filing returns as employees of the church. So housing allowance you are not provided with. If you are working in other organization where housing allowance could be, then you could indicate here the amount that you are being served housing allowance. But in this case, we have 00, we put 00, put 00. Transport allowance the same. So you ensure that these values that you're not getting these allowances, you put to 00. You ensure that they are 00, 00. So you will put there 000 as you move. So other allowances put 00, and then this one will be calculated by the system. That is the total cash pay. And then the value of car benefit, here also you put 00. Other cash benefit will put up 00. Now you'll come to global. You'll put here also 00, 00, 00. And then here you also put 00. Global income. You put 00, 00, and 00. And then you will come to this point where actual contribution K, you also input 00. Okay, once you input 00, mortgage 00, home ownership 00. So you fill these white spaces alone. Here we put the relief. So relief here is 1408. That is the relief that has been released. So this is the relief that we shall be using. So this is the relief that is standard relief. Then if you have insurance relief, this one is only if you have acquired it and submitted to the KRA and they have given you a certificate for this. That's when you can put the insurance relief in this. They will give you the rate and the percentage which they will be calculating. You put it here. Fine. So having said that, this is the most important point that you should ensure that is captured. The point of pay and tax. This tax has been calculated by the system. So you just have to copy these values exactly as they appear here and type them here. So you copy this value here. Remember, we cannot copy paste, so you have to type 9. That is the value that will be calculated by the system, is what you will type in the tax assessment. So you type here 977.10. Then you'll come also and type the figure that will be here. So let me just show you what will happen. If I change this salary of the accountant to be 30,000, just let me just change and see what will happen. To be 30,000, so that we have different numbers that we can work with. 30,000, and this one for social worker to be 40,000. To be 40,000. You will see that the figures here will change automatically. As you can see, they have changed. So this is the figure that you need to copy to the self-assessment pay. So you type it here. You cannot copy paste. So you just type this figure that is in this row. You type it in this row. The row that are under this row of self-assessment in this column under this the same row. Like this, I've copied 977 and typed the 977.10. So in this case, I'll also put 2782.5. And then here I'll put 5009.25. These figures have already been calculated by the system. So I'm just copying these figures as they are calculated by the system. I hope you have understood that point. Once you put your salary here, and put these allowances to 00. If you don't have any allowance that you receive, the system will calculate, the KRA system will calculate this pay tax and place it in this column. It is now us to copy the figure and type it here. You cannot copy paste. So you'll have to type it, the figure that is appearing here, you type it in the next row. That's the self-assessment tax for every staff. That is, this staff has this rate, this staff has this rate, this staff has this rate. So this is the figure that you should, this figure in this row is the figure that you put in this row. And this figure in this row is the figure that you put in this row. And this figure in this row is the figure that you put in this row. Now, once you do that, you click on next. And then you click on next again. You click on next. You click on next. Continue clicking next until you reach the last page. Click on next. Click on next. Click on next. Click on next. Now, when you reach at this value or this rate, you can see the tax that we had self-assessed ourselves is the one that is reflecting here. Okay, so here we click on this button called validate. Okay, so when we click on validate, you find that the system will pop up a message and tell us sheets are ready to be uploaded. Do you want to generate upload file? You click on yes. Okay, it will generate a file and says you'll find your zip folder here at this user under the documents. This is the most important part to note. Is it documents? Is it download? Is it desktop? So this one shows the path at which you shall find this zip. It is important also to note the date that you've processed. It is important to note the date that you have processed this data and the time. This is the time. This is for the date and this is for the time. And this is the code, which is, this is a PIN number and then the zip. Okay, I hope you have understood that. Once more, I'll repeat this session and say that the only place that we are required to fill is the place of the basic salary, the best place of basic salary, and if you receive allowances or not. And once you do that, the system will calculate the rates under this column, which is titled Pay Tax Kenyan Shillings. And then you copy this value that has been populated here to this value, and you copy this value again to this next row, and copy this and to this next row. Once you do that, you click on next, on next, on next until the last page. When you reach on the last page, you'll click on validate. Okay, when you click on validate, you'll be able to generate a zip file. When you click on validate, you'll generate the zip file that I've shown, and that zip file is the one that we shall use to upload our pay. So that being said, now let's go to the KRA page where we'll be able now to file our returns. So I'll close this. Remember, the first step to do any filing of KRA, you have to start with the P10 form. This is the P10 form, the one that we just filled, and ensure that you have validated and generated a zip file, because that is what we'll use. Then you close the window for the ones that you've done the submission, and then you can now save. Before we go to the page of KRA, there's one thing that if you have a folder like this, next time you need to prepare KRA, you don't need to go through all the process that you've done. So long as you have that rate, you'll just be opening your P10 form, and the only thing that you'll be changing will be the dates. That, let's say we come to the next month, which is April. I'll just change this to 01 April, and the last figure, the April will end on 30th. So I'll type here 30th 04 2019. Okay, and then I'll click next. Once you do that, if you saved this workbook, if you saved it, then anytime you repeat, you come and open this page, it will have these details. So the only thing you'll be doing is clicking next, and then validate. So you'll not have time to fill again into these spaces. It's also important to note that the basic salary may change in the beginning of financial year. Once it changes, the only thing you'll do, you'll come and change this salary once at the beginning of financial year when you'll have started getting that particular pay. And then from there, you'll also be changing only the dates. Okay, you'll only be changing the dates, and when you come in here, you'll be clicking next, because you don't need to do other work, and yet it has already saved the work that you did the last time. So it has already calculated the salary that will be the pay that you'll be paying. So it is very important to note this. So having said that, now you see the importance that we have for saving. When every time you do submit the P10, make sure you save it. This one will save you the cost of coming to type the data that you just typed in again and again. Now, having said that, it is now important we go to look at how to file this return. So the first step is to fill the P10 form. And remember, we started by downloading it if you didn't have one. So if you don't have one, download, make a folder, and put your folder in KRA or PAYE file under statutory deduction folder. That is the main folder, and we have subfolders in it, which will assist you to get organized and have little stress when you are filing your returns. Now let's go to the KRA page. So I'll start from the login page again. So I'll just start from KRA page. So you'll come to the browser and type KRA iTax. Once you click on KRA iTax, click on the first icon. As for this, I have already signed in, but I think you know how to log into the KRA system. Now, once you are here, you will click on File Return. Okay, File Return, and then you'll select Payee, Income Tax, and select Pay, and click on Next. When you click on Next, this is the most important thing you need to pay attention to. As you can see, it has the return period from this date to this date. It knows that we need to calculate this payment for this time. So you will choose File. Okay, you'll choose a file. You'll click on Choose File. Do you remember the file we validated and uploaded a V file? It was in My Documents. So I will go and look at My Documents. I'll search My Documents, and I'll look for that particular file that we uploaded. There is a particular file we uploaded here. So we shall come to that particular file and search it. Ensure it is good to get the exact name of that file that we had just uploaded. So I'll look for it in my, this here we go. So it has a date. It has a date, and as you can see, it is 4th 2019. The time was 2:53. That's the time I prepared this pay. And remember, the date is very important. So you click on this button. You click on that. You just click on it and select and open. Click on it to select and then open. Once you do that, you click on this button, I agree, and then you submit. Okay. So once you submit, you will see the receipt. So once you submit, you will find that you will have this message, return receipt generated. Now, after this has been done, you go to this payment button. Okay, this payment button, you click it. Click on payments and do what you call payment registration. This one, payment registration. Okay, so that's what you need to do. payment registration. So you'll wait for some time and you'll see that it has generated. So you proceed. It's loading. So you'll wait and you'll see that this data will be auto-populated. This data will be filled. Okay? So this data will be filled. You see it has filled. I haven't filled anything. So one thing you can do here, you just come and select tax head and say income tax. Okay, and sub-tax head, you'll click and say payee. Okay, and then payment type, you'll click and say self-assessment tax. Okay, self-assessment tax. You click and the machine is a bit hanging, but let me just wait to load. Yeah. So you see, you select self-assessment tax from this drop down. So just click on self-assessment tax, and you'll see the amount of tax that you need to pay. Okay, the amount of tax that you need to pay. So that is the correct tax that you confirm that this tax, the one that you process from the other side. So as you can see, the self-assessment will show you the record that you've submitted. So you click on this match and then you click on add, then say okay, and then once you say okay, you find that this amount will come from this area to this area, and then you select mode of payment by check or cash, and then now you submit again. Okay, you submit. So once you do this, once you do that, you'll be able to submit your returns. Now you'll print, you see this one, this is a download slip. So you'll print this downloads payment slip, this download payment slip, the one that I've downloaded, and the one that you take to the bank. Write a check to KRA and the bank will be able to process this. Thank you for watching.